Alright, about a week or so ago, I asked this question if anyone would be interested in seeing me recreate an old animation I made from a few years ago. My voice is a little weak right now, so I'm gonna try to speak as clearly as possible, but I'm kind of losing my voice. Alright. Overwhelmingly, people said yes, they would like to see me recreate an old project. Something that I didn't do a very good job at because I didn't know what I was doing. And to be honest, I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm still a rookie. Alright. Excuse me. Here's the one I decided to recreate. And I chose this one because at the time, whenever I created it, I was actually pretty proud of it. I actually, even now, I kind of like it, even though it's really amateurish. There's not much to it, but here's the basic animation. You have, it's just a basic fluid simulation, nothing special about the fluid simulation. I have an inflow here, an inflow here, and I had a volume mesh in the back, and that volume mesh just kind of collapsed into a fluid. And then I have the monkey head, which is a obstacle or fluid obstacle, and then I have this sphere that's moving around that's also an obstacle. Now unfortunately, if you look at the fluid hitting the letters, there's no effect. And that's because back whenever I made this, I had no idea that, for one thing, I couldn't turn the letters into a collision object for the fluid. And the reason why I couldn't do that is because they were still text. I had to convert from a text object into a mesh object in order to apply the effector to it so it would interact with the fluid. So I definitely will fix that. Also, the lighting on this sucks. The fluid resolution is extremely low. I think the fluid resolution on this was maybe 64, but I created this with it was with my laptop, and that was all I had at the time, which was that laptop. And if I remember correctly, it seemed like it took probably the better part of a day for me to do this. And as far as rendering, I don't remember how long, but I'm sure, because the render quality isn't terrible, I'm sure that with that CPU and that laptop, it probably rendered for a few days at least. Because this whole thing's 30 frames, and this is probably 30 seconds, and it's probably 30 frames per second, so it's 900 frames. So I'm sure I rendered for quite a while on that laptop to do this. Alright, now let's go ahead and recreate this. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this lamp because I don't need it. And I'm going to hide the camera. Alright, I'm going to go on the front side view, and I'm going to add a floor, and this floor will just be a plane scale, and then I'm going to make this like huge, 100, and let me bring that side panel out and go ahead and apply the scale. I don't think I'm going to use the floor as a physics object, but I kind of apply the scale anyway out of habit nowadays. Alright, now let me go ahead and change this to cycles because I will be using cycles. Set this to GPU, and I'm just doing this because I'm thinking about it at the time because my workflow is not organized. I'm kind of chaotic in my workflow. And before we go any further, I'm just going to go ahead and save this project, and I will be doing this in MantaFlow, so I'm just going to go ahead and save it here, and I'm just going to call this 2016 fluid sim recreation, because I don't remember if I mentioned that, but that's when that fluid simulation was made, in 2016, not too long after I started learning Blender. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and create something for the fluid to be in. I'll start off with a cube. Alright, front side view. Now I want to, this is a problem you run into often whenever you're dealing with planes. You can't see the plane when you're looking at it directly at the edge. So what I'm going to do with this plane, I'm going to solidify it. It doesn't really matter how much. And I'm just going to click apply. And the reason why I'm doing that is because when I go into front side view or whatever, I want to be able to see it. I want it to have thickness so I can see it. Alright, now I'm going to move this cube up to the top of this. Grab Z, move it to about right there. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to make it somewhat close. Grab Z, and I know there's a shortcut for doing this. I just don't remember what it is at the moment. And I'm going to scale this, or scale Shift Z, so it goes this direction. Probably about right there. It's about right. And I'm going to make this a little bit less on the Y-axis. Scale Y, just bring it a little bit less. Alright, now go ahead and push Control A to apply the scale. Press Tab to go into edit mode. Face select, and I'm going to let me think about this for a second. Alright, I'm going to press Insert, Inset, and then go back into front side view, put this in wireframe, and then press E for extrude, and then bring it down to about right there, and then that will be basically the area where the fluid will sit, even though it will have the domain keeping it from spilling out. Alright, now let me see here. I want to do this. Press press grab Z, and then just bring it down to about right there so they're intersecting. I'm kind of changing this up as I go because I haven't really planned this out much. What I'm going to do, I got the plane selected. I'm going to choose Boolean, and then set it on difference, and then choose this, and then click apply. And the reason why I'm doing that is because if I press G for grab and Z, now I got a hole in it the size of that container. Alright, now I can take that container and G for grab, Z for the Z axis, and then just bring it down to about right there so it kind of looks better. Alright, now let's add a couple of text. I'm just going to use Blender Rookie like I did before. Now I don't have any special fonts installed on this, so I'm not going to use that weird font that I used before. I'm just going to use regular font. Add mesh, and then text. Where you at? Well, it's not there. It's right here. See, I'm not thinking right because I don't feel all that great today. Rotate X 90, tab, and then BLENDER. Alright, now I'm I'm going to go on top side view and put this on wireframe so I could sort of see the boundaries better. And I'm going to just scale this up so it's about that size. Grab on the x-axis, bring it to about about right there. And now I'm going to solidify it, or not solidify, but extrude it, add some thickness. And 0.1 would probably work. Let me see. Yeah, that'd probably be thick enough. And I'll go ahead and press 7 to go top side view, press Shift D, and then Y, bring it forward to about right there, and press G for grab, X, and then change it to about right there. Now front side view, tab, and then change this one to rookie. Alright. Now I want to go ahead and turn these into mesh objects. Go to Object, Convert to Mesh from Curve Metasurf Text, which is something I needed to do last time I did this, but I had no idea that it even needed to be done, much less how to go about it. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and probably, I don't need to remesh that. It ain't going to matter for this. Let me go ahead and apply a material to this. And what colors did I make that before? I can't remember. Yellow and red. Alright, I'm going to make this one yellow. Of course, let me red and green, no blue. And I'll make this just about 0.2. That'd be about right. And I'm going to make it metallic because I like metallic. Alright. Then go to this one. Make this one red. And set the roughness down to about 0.3. Close enough, same as the other one, I believe. And turn the metallic up. Alright. Now, these will be physics objects, so I do need to apply the scale. Control A, apply the scale. Control A, apply the scale. Let me see if this, can't remember if I applied, yeah, the scale's already applied on that. Alright, now let me apply some physics properties to this. Click on the physics tab, go to fluid, and then make this an effector. And same way with this one, fluid effector. Same way with this, make that a fluid effector. Alright, now we need to add a monkey head right here. Add mesh, and we'll choose the monkey head. Now we're going to subdivide this so it or add more geometry to it. Yeah, I can't do it with that, I don't believe. Where are we at? Add modifier, subdivision surface. 3 should be enough. Alright, now I'm going to press 3, go in side view, and then rotate it till it's pretty much level. G for grab, and then, alright, the floor of this basin is going to be down here. Same way with these, going to drag these down, grab Z. Alright, now I do need to move this monkey head over some and make it a little bit bigger. Grab X, move it to about right here, and I believe I had a little bit of an angle on that. Yeah, I'm not trying to recreate exactly, but you know, somewhat close so it resembles it. Alright, now going to make this bigger. Scale 2. Well, 2 is a little bit too big. Scale 1.5. Enter. Grab Z. Up, move that up. Control A. Scale. Let me give that some physics properties. Fluid effector. Alright. Now I have let me move this forward a little bit because I need to have enough room back here for my mesh fluid object. Grab Y, move it forward, and then I'll put the wall of water right here, or the mesh that's just going to collapse into a fluid back there. Add mesh, cube, grab Y, move it to about right here, size Y, about like that, grab Y, move it, and then size X, move it to, or scale it to about that big, go to the side, and then just grab Z, and then bring it down to about right here. Press Control A, scale. Alright, now with that one selected, I'm going to go up to Object, Quick Effects. Whoops, I think my mouse's batteries are going dead. Where am I? Quick Effects, Quick Liquid. Alright, now with this domain, we're going to press G for grab, Z for the Z axis, and then just bring it to about right here. Alright, now I'm going to press Tab to go into edit mode. Select this face, and G for grab, Y for the Y axis, and move it to about right here. Same way with this one. Grab Y, move it here. On this side one, front side view, grab X, about right there, and right here, grab X, right there. Now go on top side view and make sure it's the right size. It is. Alright, exit edit mode. Now, since the center of origin is right here, and it will glitch out if you don't have the center of origin correct, I will have to adjust that. Object, set origin to geometry, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply the scale. I don't think you absolutely need to apply the scale, but I'm going to anyway. Mostly just out of consistency on my part. Alright, now I'm going to add a pipe. In this pipe, it's going to dump, it's going to look like it's dumping fluid onto the top of this monkey. Front side view, but before going further, I'm going to go ahead and save this. Alright, I'm going to add mesh and then a cylinder. Going to scale this to 0.5, make it a little bit smaller. Grab and then just move it over to about right here. That's probably about right. And adjust it on this axis. Grab Y. Alright. Now press Control A to apply the scale. Probably didn't need to. I do that way more often than I actually need to. And press 3 and press E for extrude. bring it up to about right there, grab it on the y-axis, just drag it a little bit, rotate it just a little bit, E for extrude, grab on the y-axis, rotate it just a little bit, just add a little bit of curve to it, E for extrude, and you're not going to see the top part of it anyway. Alright, now I'm going to select this face and I'm going to extrude it or inset it, inset to about right there, and then extrude it on the z-axis, which is, that should work. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and press Shift S and cursor to select it. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want the cursor to be right there, that way centered basically in this pipe, so that I can go ahead and add an inflow. Add mesh, and then I'll use another cylinder as the inflow. Scale 0.25, enter. Grab Z, put that about right there. Control A to apply the scale, and then I'm going to make this a fluid flow, not smoke, but liquid, not geometry, but inflow. And I'm going to give it an initial velocity, Z -3. Alright, now I'm going to make this pipe an effector, fluid effector. Alright, I already have that set up too. Let me see if I got the domain set up right. Alright, now I need one more inflow. Alright, I'm going to take, alright, let me see here. Front side view. Where did that other inflow come in at? Back here in the back corner. Alright, in the back corner, just kind of pointing up towards the center. Alright, front side view. And let me add another cylinder that we're going to make a pipe out of. Grab, move it to about here, size 0.5. Alright, now I'm going to rotate this just a little bit so it's pointing towards the center, and then I'm going to go in this view and rotate it just a little bit so it's pointing more towards the center. Top view, and then just press G for grab and move it to about right here. Alright, now I'll go ahead and press Control A to apply the scale, because sometimes I've noticed if you change the size of an object and then you go into edit mode, it does weird things. So sometimes it's better just to go ahead and apply the scale before you go into edit mode. That's just a rookie tip. Alright, tab, edit mode. Alright, let me extrude, grab, bring it down to like there, rotate, extrude, grab, rotate, extrude, and then that's fine because that part won't be seen anyway. Alright, now let me select this face and I'm going to inset this, inset, and now I'm going to extrude this in. Extrude, and that should be far enough to cover it up or to make it not as visible, but I'm going to go just a little bit further since that will be partially visible from the camera view. Be back in a second. I gotta turn my coffee pot off. Alright, extrude, bring it to about right there, grab, and then rotate just a little bit, scale, and then let me look at it from another angle. Alright, need to move us over just a little bit. Rotate. I mean, this probably ain't necessary, but it's just a bit of a habit I have. Alright. Now, press A twice to select nothing, and then select all of these. Shift S, move the cursor to the center, tab to exit, add, mesh, and then cylinder, and then scale 0.25, Control A, apply the scale. Now just rotate this cylinder so it matches. Rotate. Alright, yeah, that'd work. Alright. And go ahead and apply a fluid inflow right here. And let me see, liquid inflow, initial velocity, Z probably 5. Enter. Maybe it probably gonna be, maybe even be higher than 6. I'm not 100% sure. All right, set this to fluid effector. All right. Now we're pretty much ready to do a test. File, save, and then select the domain. We'll change this to 64. Alright, we'll look at it from the side because it'd probably be more telling. And then let me see what my settings down here are set to. We'll set this to 900 because eventually it's going to be, I'll do it the same number of frames, same length as before. 900. Alright. And I'm going to change this to, probably right now I'm going to leave it on replay. And make sure I check is resumable. I think that's all for now because I'm just wanting to look at the particles. Delete an obstacle. There was another thing I wanted to set. That's not it. Can't remember what the setting is called. Fractional obstacles. It will help the fluid actually meet the surfaces of objects instead of creating like a bubble between the fluid and the object. Alright, one more time, save and press play and see what goes on. So we can see what this volume is about right. This one, it ain't angling right. So it's going straight up on the Z, so I need to do it on the X-axis also. Let me choose this object, and then I need to change this to about 8. And then on the X-axis, make this probably 6. And then the Y-axis, make this probably 4. That's what I'm guessing based off off of the motion of that. Alright, go back to the side view, and funny thing about Manta Flow is in replay, to get it to start over correctly, you need to change this to a different number and then back to the number you had before. Otherwise it gets kind of glitchy. And then press play. Oh, my flow is going the wrong way. Alright, make this I tell you what, I could probably do this. This will probably fix that issue. Control A, and then if I apply the rotation, that may fix that issue. I don't know for sure if it will or not, but if it does, then I can turn this back to 0 and this back to 0, and then it should just shoot out in the z-axis based on the local coordinates, I guess. Alright, go back to the where are you at? Domain. Me 65. Alright, let me see which. It's still just going straight up. No biggie. So let me change this to -6 on the y-axis. See what I mean? Like right now it's still just shooting straight up, because for some reason now it's kind of changing. Its bake doesn't, the bake is weird, but you can see I need to adjust it so it goes on the x-axis now. Let's say probably about the same, -6. Wrong way. 6. Alright, that's close. Needs to be a little bit more on the x-axis, or yeah, probably I'm going to do it this way. On the x, go down to 5, and then on the y, go down to -4, and then change this to 6. Alright, now go back to the domain, set that to adjust that so it resets the cache. Now it's looking sort of right, but it's still going a little bit too far on the y-axis. Change this to -3. And I'm going to shift select and then rotate Z about like that, grab about like that. I don't think I ever, yeah, I did apply an effector to that. Alright, let me see what that looks like now. Alright, now I definitely need to adjust. Well, I think I'm seeing old cache. 64, play. That's pretty close. It's still a little bit too far to the Y. Let me select that again, and -2, and liquid changes to 65. Pardon me. And let me try it one more time. This should be it. Alright. Now that's kind of shooting up as a laminar or laminate or however it's pronounced. Basically, one coherent stream with no nothing affecting. It's just a solid stream. I don't know if I really want that, but the other one, it was shooting up enough to actually hit the top. I don't want it to do that either. I think that looks kind of weird. That actually looks halfway decent. Alright, now let me go ahead and change this to, let's say, 200. Before I go to 200, I want to go to 100. And I'm going to do this to kind of gauge how much, how long it's going to take, and if I'm going to need to use an outflow object to limit the amount of fluid that's produced. Alright, now let me see. I want probably leave it at 1 for now. The flip ratio, I hope it's not going to all of a sudden create a whole bunch of extra fluid, because wavy MantaFlow has a habit of creating extra fluid. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up tomorrow. My throat's getting bad where I don't feel like talking much. But I'm going to go ahead and save this and then pick up tomorrow. Alright, it's the next day and my voice is a little bit better. I feel a little bit better today. So I'm going to continue with this. Still got the cough. Where was I? I think, yeah, I had to set to 100. I was going to bake part of that to see if I needed to create some kind of outflow or something to limit the amount of fluid that builds up. Alright, let me go ahead and put this in front side view so we can see the level. Zoom in just a little bit. And with that set to 100, I'm just going to go ahead and, I believe I still have this set to replay. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and press play, and I'll see how much fluid builds up over time. So that way I have an idea how, if I'm going to need some kind of, well, I could tell I needed to, the cache is wrong. And alright, I could tell looking at it that the cache changed right in the middle of it. I need to go into my cache folder, and where am I at? Where are you at? That's not tutorial. MantaFlow practice. May be in here. Yeah. It's probably this one. 10 was today's the 10th, ain't it? Yeah. Oh, 11th. Alright, let me go in here and just get rid of all this. And alright, that should work. Come up here, change this. Just type in 100 and it should force it to reset everything. Alright. Because what gave it away that it's still doing it. Like right here you can see it must just be because of the higher resolution, it's causing a little bit of see how it gets a little bit thicker right here. Maybe it's just my monitor. It may not even be showing up in the actual video. It's kind of hard to add. Anyway, I'm just kind of wasting my time here. But yeah, let's see. It's only up to frame 120. It's already half full, at least. So yeah, I'm going to have to put some kind of outflow on here. Otherwise, it's just going to build up and build up. But that little turbulence or whatever, I wasn't expecting that, but I actually like that. It makes it look more realistic. I thought I was going to have to add something in there to cause that turbulence, but apparently not. Alright, so I'm definitely going to have to add some because I'm only at frame 217, and as you can see, my container is almost full. Alright, so let me go ahead and create an outflow object. And what should I use? I'm just going to go by the old standby and add a drain. Alright, now let me think about this for a second. I'm going to go ahead and hide my domain and choose this, and I'm going to go into solid view so I can actually see it. I'm going to hide the actual floor, and I'm going to put the drain right here in the corner where it won't show very much. I'm just going to do something pretty simple. Mesh. I'm going to use a cylinder. Go top side view, wireframe, make sure I can get it kind of in the good position. And that should be fine. And go back into solid view, and I'm going to grab this on the Z-axis till it's just barely intersecting. I'd probably drop it down a little bit more. Grab Z, bring it to about there, and I'm going to do a little boolean. Choose this object and add a modifier. Choose boolean, make sure it's set the difference, and then choose the cylinder and then click apply. Now I can get rid of the cylinder, which I'm not going to. I'm going to just scale this down just a little bit, about like that. Go back in the front side view, scale on the Z-axis, make it about that size. Grab Z, bring it down here, and Control A, since this will be a physics object. I'm going to call this outflow or domain outflow, and give this some physics properties. Go to fluid, effector, collision. I must be the wrong one, not effector, flow, liquid, outflow, mesh. Alright, and I'll just have this one set so that it doesn't actually show in the final render, probably. Alright, think that should work. Now I'm going to bring back the domain, bring back the floor. I think that's everything. Alright, go ahead and click save, and click on the domain and 101 just to make sure the cache is flushed. Alright, now this time hopefully the fluid won't build up. Now I already see a problem. It's not hitting that because the domain is too small. I need to drop the domain size or lower. Go with tab, grab the bottom one, grab Z, and then just bring it down to about there so that the fluid can actually make contact with that. Press tab. Since I did change the size of this, I need to go ahead and set the origin to geometry to move this origin point so that everything is lined up. If you don't, it will look weird. And let me go back here, go back to 100, and try it one more time. Now this time, alright, you can actually see it going, hitting that outflow object and then disappearing. So that should help limit the amount of fluid that builds up. I'll let this go for, I don't know, a couple hundred frames and see if it's actually building up. Because I want to find, you know, a correct size for this outflow object to where it will build up a little bit but not overflow. I guess that would be the best way to describe it. Of course, it looks like it's almost emptying it out too quickly, but it's kind of hard to tell when it's just the particles that are here. But that's what it looks like. But that's still not bad. I mean, is it? Yeah, it's just deep around the edges. The center is shallow. Alright, so now I know I need to make the outflow object smaller. Scale, Shift Z, Control A, scale, and go back to the domain 101, and we'll try this again. Again, this is how my generic workflow is. It's not very good. Now the interactions in the final one will be better because you can see it impacting like the stream right here, impacting the letters, the text, and it's mostly going through it, and that's because I have no subframes. Like for the final, I'd probably turn this up to 8 and this up to 4, which would more than likely cure that issue. Because the idea here is to make sure this outflow object is extracting water or allowing fluid to flow out about as quick as this one and this one have fluid flowing in. That way it doesn't build up. That looks better than it did before, I do believe. I think I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller, because whenever you go to a higher resolution, it will actually flow out quicker. This will actually be more efficient because it kind of has to do with the particle size versus the size of the outflow object will determine how quickly it's going to flow out up to a certain point. But once you reach past a certain resolution, it's going to be sort of like just the volume of this. But particle size does affect it to a degree. Size, Shift, Z, and just make it just a little bit smaller. Control A, apply the scale. Alright, now let me go ahead and select this, change this to 150 will probably be enough for the final, but I'm trying to make this better than before. 200 will take a while, and I'm going to change this from replay to modular because I want to be able to bake the particles and the mesh and the foam individually. So I'm going to put that on modular so I can do it that way. And I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and press File, Save, and I'm going to go ahead and I think that's it. Let me go ahead and bake the data, and this should take 3 or 4 hours, I would imagine. See you in a bit. You know what I just realized? I didn't put that little sphere that was moving around. So I gotta stop this. Granted, it's only like 5 minutes later, but at least I didn't waste a whole lot of time. Whew, look, that's a lot of fluid. It's all up to sides. Alright, that ain't bad. But see what I mean? You go to higher resolution, all of a sudden it looks like more fluid. Yeah. Either way, let me go ahead and change this or add a sphere. I can't remember how this path took us. Right in front of the text, and went back there in front of the second row, went back, and basically boom, 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 and back here is just kind of sitting and then comes back. Because I don't have to make it exactly like it, but I'm trying to just make it mostly like it. And it gets back right here with like 4 seconds to spare. Alright, so now let me go ahead and add mesh and then a sphere. Front side view, size 0.5, Control A. Apply the scale, grab Z. I want it to not intersect the floor, but come right up to the floor. And I'm going to make this a fluid effector. And since this is a moving object, I'm going to add some sampling substeps, which I'm going to guess 5. 5 will probably be about right. And I did have some random rotation on this too. So let me go on top side view, grab Y, and put it to about right there. And I'm going to keyframe this location. And see, 1. I don't have enough space between these for that, so I'm going to move this back a little bit, grab Y, move it to about there, make sure that's not intersecting. Yeah, that's fine. And we go back to here. 1, 2, 3, pause. 5, 6, 7. Okay, 8. Alright. So let me see, go from here to here. I'm going to say that's 100 frames. And probably 150. Go to 150. Grab X, move it to about right there. Keyframe it. And this was probably another 50 frames. Grab Y, move it to about right there, keyframe it. Let's say 150 frames. So I'm talking 350. Yeah, 350, not 325. And grab X, move it to about right here. And when it got here, it just it stayed there for about 4 seconds. So I'm going to go to 450, keyframe the location again, and then it came back quicker, so I'm going to set that to 100 frames. Grab X, move it to about here, keyframe it, and I don't think I went I'll go ahead and just do 50 again because that seems right. Grab Y, because I'm just whenever I do stuff like this, a lot of times I'll go through many iterations of it, and in this case I'm trying to make the first iteration better than the original, which normally I think I would probably create something similar to the original and then improve upon it. But I'm skipping a few steps because I'm still a little bit under the weather. Alright, keyframe that, and then 100 frames, back to the beginning, grab X, move to about right there, keyframe, and then over 50 frame, well, probably over 100 frames, it got big. Or that's how it's going to be this time. Well, I'm going to say over 50 frames, it got bigger. Alright, so I'm going to, let me go back to 700. I need to keyframe the scale right there also. And then go to 750. And scale, just make that about that big. Grab Z right there. Because now alright, make sure that worked right. And at this point, basically spent, I'm going to go to 875 and just press G for grab and then X, and then just move it down to about here. Grab Y. Alright. Now I need to add rotations to this. Alright, I'm going to set the rotation on that one. Go to the next one. I'm just going to add a random amount, keyframe that, go to the next one, random, go to the next one, random. Once again, my mouse feels like it's starting to act up, and it shouldn't be. It's only a few months old. It's got fresh batteries in it now. Alright, not too far off, getting close. And a few more and I'll be done. Alright, one more. Well, actually two more. Boom, boom, boom. And then it's going to be stopped here, but it's going to still be spinning. But it's going to be kind of winding down. Alright, keyframe that. I'm going to play through the animation so I can see what it looks like. And you can see the impacts on the text. It looks much better than it did before because I have keyframes, or not keyframes, subframes. And let me just follow this, make sure this goes the way I want it to go. Guess I probably could have turned the particles or the fluid simulation portion off so that it would actually go through quicker, but I'm just kind of checking one last little inspection before I spend more time baking. I'm going to skip through a little bit. Alright, pausing but spinning like I wanted it to. Going back, going forward, going back, pausing, growing, spinning, and then going back. And then spinning and winding down. Alright, that's what I want. Alright, now go back to the domain. Go to front side view because I like watching it from, or well, habit. And we click free and then file, save. But that's another mistake. I forgot to turn this up. I actually didn't add keyframes to it, or not keyframes, subframes to it, or not as many as I plan to. Set this to 8 and then set this to a minimum of 4, which that slows down your simulation, the amount of time it takes to bake, but it makes it more realistic, especially when it comes to impacting objects. I can't remember, do I have fractional? Yeah, fractional obstacles. I think I mentioned that yesterday, but if you don't turn on fractional obstacles, then a lot of times there will be bubbles, what looks like bubbles around objects. Let me, I think I got it on my system. Alright, let me find it real quick. I'm on the other screen right now. So, where am I at? Flooded Garage, here we are. Alright, I'll show you what I'm talking about with those fractional obstacles. Because this one right here, the fractional obstacles are not turned on. See how you have the bubbles on the hood? It almost looks like some kind of hydroscopic effect, or hydrophobic effect rather. But you can kind of see it's not exactly meeting. It doesn't look like it's touching the obstacles. You got that bubble effect. But I think with this one, yeah, this one I have the, well, I went too far. This one I have fractional obstacle turned on. Of course, this was rendered in Eevee, so it's not showing up as much, but that's the difference. Alright, let me go ahead and click File, Save, and then Bake Data. And I'll be back with you later.